everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Bad Catholic Dads podcast, episode number 11. Hopefully 11, we'll see. I'm one of your hosts, John Perez, alongside the doctor, Derek Rogers.
How's it going?
How's it going?
It's doing well. Hey,
Dude,
this is a special trip vacation from your problems kind of episode.
This is a runaway from your problems episode. So if you have problems, the best thing to do, take a vacation, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. Who cares? Who cares about your job? Just go. Ready?
Just go.
Anyway, welcome to Bad Catholic Dads podcast. If you didn't know, Bad Catholic Dads podcast is a podcast that we're sharing with you guys, the listener, who you may be. We talk about fatherhood, authentic fatherhood. We talk about how cool fatherhood is. We talk about the ups, the downs, the joys, the struggles, everything with being a Catholic in today's world. So thank you for listening. Thank you so much for the feedback on the show. Derek, we got a bunch of new followers this week on Instagrams and Twitter. So maybe we have some new people listening. So thank you. Our ratings are looking pretty good. So I'm very happy about that.
Welcome aboard, everybody. It's really good to have you here. Yeah, like I think one of the things like we were alluding to, this is episode number 11. So we've made it past that great golden.
Your real podcast at episode 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we're a real podcast plus one.
We're a real podcast plus one. So,
and you and I, this weekend, well, we're coming up. We're both vacationing.
Yeah.
And we were like you're kind of alluding to it. Like we're gonna be talking about taking a break from problems and stuff like that. And like one of the things I think that gets us through like a lot of stuff, not only vacations, but like I think just entertainment in general. Like kind of, and it's been a pretty good entertainment filled week and like this upcoming month with some movies. John, I was just curious, what's going on with you with entertainment stuff? I mean, we talked about the downer of a show, 13 Reasons Why, but I want to talk about more positive things today. What are some like media stuff that's going on in your life that's kind of exciting?
Oh man, dude, just like what have I watched lately, or like
just like that, or upcoming video games.
Okay, so hey, listener, real quick, this episode is a little bit of a special episode because we're recording right on the back of episode 10. So if it seems like it's not a full length episode, we'll be back to our regular program schedule. After
we're just trying to get this all done before our vacation.
Exactly. So, one thing is, Derek, I've had a inspiration to start a vlog. So you guys can get it at patreon.com/badcatholicdads. Get it for $3. That's it. We're building a house. You guys can come on that journey, but also kind of see an insight to our faith life, our family life. So check that out. But no, like I've been watching this guy, one of my favorite vloggers. It's so weird that we're in this world where like when I was talking to my kids like a couple days before I was leaving, I was like, what do you guys want to be? Like they're talking about what do they want to be when they grow up or whatever. And a handful of kids, I kid you not, said, I want to start a YouTube channel. I want to be a vlogger.
Man.
And I was like, this is the world we live in today,
Yeah.
It's crazy, but this is do your kids watch like kid toy reviews?
Oh my gosh, like
that's like the thing now,
Yeah. I mean, because there's so much on YouTube, and this is like it's kind of sad sometimes because like this one kid was getting ready for confirmation, and I was talking to him, and I was like, he came into this confirmation interview just to make sure like they know their Catholic stuff, and he comes up with wearing this tie. I'm like, dude, nice job with your tie. I'm like, your dad help you with that? And he's like, no, I learned it on YouTube.
Yep.
I was like, what?
Same here, dude. I'm right there with you.
That's
Yeah, dude. You know what's so embarrassing? Like I didn't learn to tie my tie until I was probably in college.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was in high school. It was like one of those things.
No, but it was like late college.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
okay.
It was like graduation or something like that. But I just remember being like, I don't know how to tie my tie. I've always asked, because growing up, I would just ask my dad to tie it. Dad, can you just tie this tie for me? Sure, son. And he was like, I don't care. I'm not teaching. I don't care. You should learn how to do this.
See,
and
to me, yeah, I mean, that's one of my fondest, actually, like something that my dad gave me, like, is that memory alone is when he specifically, like, going hunting with him was one thing, but learning how to tie a tie was like such a big moment for me in high school. It was kind of like this transition to like, you're a man now, get this tie around your neck. But like my dad was patient enough and he took enough time with me. And my dad is not like intimate in that kind of way with, taking time, like doing, and this was a very personal thing. He wasn't teaching my other brothers. He was teaching me it. And every time I tie my tie, I think of my dad and just like
That's awesome.
him giving me that lesson. So to me, when I heard that kid, just say it, I was like, my heart broke a little bit. And I was like, but I totally get it because you can learn so much from YouTube and these things.
YouTube is the second most search engine in the world other than Google. And it's not even a search engine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, YouTube, I've been like, so I'm on paternity leave now, Derek.
Yeah.
And I take care of my kids. I make sure they eat, make sure they survive, change their diapers. But then I just like watch YouTube, like a bunch of YouTube videos. I've been watching a lot of, how to get better podcasting, how to get better at video editing, stuff like that. But also like I watch my favorite YouTuber, Casey Neistat. Have you heard of this guy?
Yeah, I subscribe to that guy. Yeah.
Dude, he's awesome.
He's an interesting dude. Yeah.
He's so interesting. And like, it's like, so I like get a lot, like, so I like, sorry, I keep saying like, but I watch a lot of vloggers and I watch a lot of Catholic vloggers, just because being in Catholic media, I'm going to put that in quotations, being in Catholic media, and as not snobby as that sounds, we're like, I don't know if you know, but like on the Twitter, I follow a lot of people who are in Catholic media. A lot of people are doing some awesome things in the Catholic Catholic new evangelization, Derek. Let's go. Like, dude, God, the one message I have for a lot of people who are like, should I start a YouTube channel on my faith, or should I start a podcast on my faith? And the one thing I say is like, God wants to be everywhere. You know what I mean? God just doesn't want to stand. God just doesn't want to be in that tabernacle in your church. You know what I mean? Or God doesn't want to be in just your house. He wants to be everywhere. And the one thing I say is like, why not have more God on YouTube, more God on podcast apps,
Absolutely.
Because if God's not there, then that's an absence of God. That's not a good thing, right? And so for me, I watch a lot of Catholic vloggers and I'm like, okay, this is good. You guys are talking about your faith life on YouTube. You're just staring into a camera and that's awesome. Great. But for me, like I get a lot of my inspirations from Casey Neistat because I love the way he tells his vlogs, right? He just doesn't stand in front of a camera and talk to the camera for 5 minutes, right? He tells a story. He brings you on an adventure. It's an experience every time you watch his vlogs. So for me, I wanted to take that in the same way of, have you seen the first vlog episode, Derek?
I haven't watched it
So
yet.
it's private because you have to be a Patreon.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I did see that.
You have to be.
See, it was really good. Like, I liked like your combination of video and like still shots.
Yeah.
And
So
the production value was really good.
Thank you. Yeah, for me is like, because I don't know if you know this, Derek. I used to be in a production company. I used to own my own production business with my friend in college, and we did weddings and we did short films and we did a bunch of videography stuff. And so I have always had that eye for videography and telling stories. And for me, I could just stand in front of a camera and talk about, the first episode was about family prayer time and why it's important to have family prayer time, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, I didn't just want to have that, of, me and my wife and our kids sitting in front of a camera and me talking about, family prayer time. I wanted to lead you to that by telling a story of that, going through our day of, going to our flooring appointment, talking about our floor. Dude, we picked out flooring for 2 hours. That was crazy. And I mean, how boring is that, by the way? That was so boring. But
it's pretty good. I mean, you got to have that foundation.
Yeah,
you got to have that.
Yeah. So no,
floor,
like,
man, you start there.
That's just been like in my mind. I have the next couple episodes, so this isn't a commercial for it.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of telling you what I've been up to.
Well, I mean, it's so true because I mean, like along those same lines, this year for youth ministry, like I've been really focusing on putting stuff out for our, YouTube channel and stuff like that. Like,
do you run the Twitter, by the way?
What?
Do you run the Twitter?
Yes.
I look at that Twitter, I'm like, this is Derek. Like,
yeah.
I love it. This is so good.
We, like earlier on this year, back in the day, it was the mannequin challenge, and we started doing that. And it's really cool to see high school students sharing their Catholic faith, like through social media stuff too. So like lately, I've been working on our end of the year slideshow, and I have so many videos that I have to edit for it, and putting it to songs, and that's been really fun doing all that and just seeing that, and the teens, because they're consuming so much media, it is really important that the Catholics get out there and throw their hat in the ring, whether it be through music, through videos, through vlogging, anything.
Yeah.
It's really important because that's what the high schoolers, the young Catholics, are consuming.
Yes.
So it is important not just for each other to inspire each other, but also to like give, those, they can, it's like, oh, I don't have to just share something else. I can actually share something about my faith, because there is something fun in this media and this entertainment that pertains to my faith and things that I did. And I really see that as an important piece, like you said, to the new evangelization.
Yeah, dude, new evangelization.
It's for the students too, because that's what they're consuming.
Yep.
And it is important that people that are listening to us, that we do a good job in giving things out there that maybe it'll help inspire people and just kind of keep that ball rolling. Because you're right, Christ needs to be heard everywhere and seen everywhere. And not only in our words, but in the things that we're doing. So we got to keep that Catholic heart in all the media stuff that we do. I know, like, I've been working on the theme song for our junior high work camp, and it's, you're getting inspiration from these teens and from other musicians. And it's really fun to be talking about, looking at these wavelengths while we speak and knowing that we just said Christ, one of those bumps, or talking about Jesus Christ. Like, that's so cool that that's right there on this MP3 format. That's so cool. It's awesome.
That is great. And Pope Francis even says, like, we need to go out to the peripheries, right? Like, and I think, and I want to ask you this question of, like, so we have the, in media, I don't think we do a good job, Catholics, of I think we're doing a good enough job right now. I think we could do better. But how do you feel about, like, so, like, on Catholic Twitter, hashtag Catholic Twitter, on Catholic Twitter, it's like, people are talking about, like, EWTN style thinking, like EWTN versus kind of the new evangelization. Because I feel like EWTN is obviously great. Anytime we have to watch, like, a live stream of Pope Francis doing something,
any mass,
like, we're in. But in terms of, like, reaching young people, right? Reaching people who are Derek and I's age, but even younger. High schoolers, college, post college. Like, how do you feel about kind of the I'm not singling out EWTN, by the way. There's an old nun here. Like, I loved Mother Angelica. You guys are crapping on EWTN.
We just lost a third of our subscribers.
But no, like, how do you feel about kind of like EWTN versus kind of like the new evangelization of thinking of, like, reaching young people through these media outlets?
I mean, for me personally, it's always like this thing of moderation, right? There's a time and place for specific, like, EWTN stuff.
Sure.
And whether it be on Twitter, like, it is so great. There's so many different sites that you can follow with, like, saint quotes and so much great, like, media, like some of these JPEGs and files, with memes. The Catholic Memes does a great job, and I think those are some things that are really reaching out to that crowd too. But yeah, there's a time and place for all of it. Like, I can't take too much EWTN. I mean, my wife used to love like that early on, and I couldn't. I was like, oh no.
Better not show
my mom too. Forget it. When my mom's like visiting, and it's like, that's the main channel. She's like, oh, you have cable? Cool. I'm going to EWTN. And
EWTN sucks. I'm just kidding.
I appreciate it more now than I did.
Yeah,
when
for
I was
sure.
young,
For sure.
But that's where it's important that there's people like Bobby Angels in the world,
right.
And Jackie Francois, and all these other, Leah Darrow and Rick Dar, all these people, that these individuals are putting out media that they are following, whether it be on Twitter, whether it's being picked up by Church Pop, there's all these different ways that it's coming out. And I feel like it's the Catholic media and the evangelization is more of like an underground thing, which is kind of exciting because it's like
we're in it, Derek.
I don't know, kind of hipster thing. Can you find it? Can you find? Because there's great stuff out there. Can you dig and find it?
Sure.
It's not going to be put up easily like ESPN. Like, it's easy. It's all over the place. You got to kind of look for it, but it is there.
Yeah.
And
100%.
it is cool to see just the different varying forms of it, whether it be EWTN or something like the new Catholic YouTube channel.
I think it'd be cool, like, just to have another channel that's like EWTN, but for like YouTubers or podcasts of like, hey, like, have a bunch of cool people do it, you know, like Jackie Francois or hey, us, right? Like the Bad Catholic Dad late night, you know, show, you know, where we talk about the news but have jokes and stuff like that. I think that'd be cool. And I think there's a time and place for that. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, like a late show kind of thing.
Dude,
like,
I would be all over that
hey,
late show.
listen,
We would be all over that late show, Derek.
We're putting out ideas. Someone's gonna grab it. That's fine. If we don't grab it in time, someone who's
We gotta
listening
grab
gotta
it.
grab that
We gotta
and start
grab it.
running with it.
No, yeah.
It's a good
So yeah,
idea
no,
right there.
been doing that, and then we had gosh, nerd alert. We had some video game news like Destiny 2. It's so funny, like, dude, did you see? Oh gosh, this is like so nerdy. So if you want to tune out for a little bit, tune out and come back in. But Derek, did you see Dado's a famous Destiny? Destiny is a shooting game. You shoot aliens. Dado's video from today.
I saw. Yeah, I think
He just showed this new strike, and like, and like, I'll admit, it looks like more Destiny, and I'm actually happy about that. But I was like gushing over it, Derek. Like, I was making noises. I was like gasping. It was awesome. And my wife was like noticing it
on Twitter,
and she was like, I wish you looked at me this way. It was really funny, just like jokingly. And I was like, September 8th, Fatima, September 8th. And she goes, that's Mama Mary's birthday. And I was like, no, it's not. It's Destiny 2 Day. So I just thought it was really funny.
I mean, right, it was when that came out, like, it was fun to watch that stream, like when everything was getting talked about.
So
you know,
good.
like, it's a great presentation.
So good.
But exactly, like, it'd be cool if we get like Catholic faith stuff, like with that much hype. I mean, the thing is with that video game, because for those that don't know, it's in the roots of Halo, the old first-person shooter stuff where you're shooting aliens and you play online against each other. But I was really excited to watch that, and it's that kind of this idea of like, it's good sometimes to just have somewhere where, like with my brother, I have some other friends who play video games with you, and it's a great way to just, we were talking about stress last week. It's a great way.
Bring it all back. Yeah. It's
a great way to just kind of like, we're supposed to pray to relax, but another thing, just blowing off steam, blowing up aliens, hanging out with your friends online, and just kind of like, having that entertainment thing. Movies, another great thing. Non-stressful ones. There's, well, first of all, I gotta see Alien Covenant. I'm probably gonna see it next week or this week.
The reviews aren't that great on it.
They weren't either for Prometheus, and I love.
So we'll see. I love Prometheus too. Gosh, I love Alien. They were showing Alien and Aliens on TV the other night, and I had to stay up for them. Like, Alien and Aliens movies are probably. I always put them together because they're so different, but they're so the same. It's that, like, they're like in my top 5 movies of all time. I love like Alien more than Aliens, which is weird to say because everyone loves Aliens more than Alien. But that like changed my life. Like, I love sci-fi, and then I watch Aliens, and I'm like, all right, me and sci-fi are married forever. I'll always love sci-fi. But we gotta see it.
I was shocked that my wife, like, when I got her to watch it when she was pregnant. I was like, you have to watch this because it's like probably the most disturbing thing a pregnant person can watch. And I was mean to my wife like that. She actually enjoyed it, and she was really looking forward to rewatching Prometheus because we're getting all ready for this Alien Covenant. Yeah, she actually enjoys those movies, and it's that great. Sigourney Weaver's role is great. Alien 3 is so.
I haven't seen that one.
I like the ending of that one.
Everyone's like, don't watch that one, so I didn't watch it.
No, the end is really good.
Okay, I'll have to watch it just because I want to get ready for it.
Alien Resurrection was weird. Okay. I did not like that one.
All right, I'll have to watch that too.
And I
think I
can't tell about the premise of that because it feeds in from the third one. But Prometheus, I love that one. I loved that. Again, the sci-fi stuff. Like, to me, Prometheus is one of those things where you're able to think in your Catholic mind and then tie in the sci-fi. Like, Prometheus was so cool because it's like this origin story, and you see the story of Genesis, and you see original sin. You can see these kind of combinations coming through storytelling. They talk about the engineer that gets killed 2,000 years ago, and it's like, wow, are they hinting that Jesus was like one of these engineers that helped create and there's all these cool sci-fi things tied in with like Christianity in that movie that I loved so much. That's why Covenant, I'm looking so forward to seeing that story continue on.
It's not the direct sequel to Prometheus, right? Like, it's kind of like a side story.
It takes place after. It's a sequel, I think, of that one.
Okay, because I know they were going to do a sequel of her going to that home planet of the engineers.
Well, I hope so, because I don't know. I'm really excited because
I know nothing. I know nothing about the movie. Yeah. Anytime it comes on TV, I like look away because I don't care. I don't want to know anything about it. But man, I love Alien, and I'm looking forward to that. If in case you're confused about this topic this week, It's really of how do we kind of take a break from the real world, whether that be through entertainment or prayer or what we're going to get into a little bit of vacation or retreats, So that's why we're talking about movies right now. So
I want to transition then from James Cameron, who did Alien 2, because Ridley Scott
did Alien
1, and James Cameron did Alien 2.
Well, Ridley Scott did Prometheus 2, right?
Ridley Scott, did
and he
Prometheus,
did the new one too.
He's doing the,
yeah.
But James Cameron also did a fantastic movie called Avatar. Kind of segueing in here, James Cameron also helped put together a park at Animal Kingdom called Pandora. That's going to be opening up. Wow, we're vacationing.
Wait, time out real quick. Time out. You're going to Florida. Are you going to Disney Universal?
My kids don't know it yet, but yes, we are going.
My gosh,
Magic Kingdom. We're going.
That is awesome, bro.
We're going to see the Harry Potter place. Which
That's
we've
so
always
great,
wanted.
dude.
And then maybe on Saturday is the grand opening of Pandora. So
that's going to be so packed, dude.
I know. But,
oh my gosh, it's going to be worth it. Hey, real quick before we get into that, I kind of want to go back to the origin story of you going to Florida. What's up with the Florida trip? Like, what spurned it? What made you guys want to go? Like, to
I got a call
Disney?
from my mom and dad, and they said, "Hey, we have this great discount for the was it the Hyatt? Some awesome hotel brand."
Okay.
And they're like, "It's only for 3 days. We're getting this awesome discount. It's an amazing." Is it like a Hilton? It's something like that with an H. Anyways, she's like, we can have a family trip. I can talk to your siblings and see if, we can make this work it out. And it was like
awesome.
Right after our finales for stuff. And we're like, well, yeah, actually that week would look good. So we looked into it and we have this awesome hotel thing for such a discount price. And it's honestly like we can take a little shuttle bus over to these fantastic theme parks. So all my siblings are going to be there. My mom and dad are going to be there, and we're taking, our squad of, 5 and counting down there. So we're driving down in our minivan. So, we're getting all that fixed and stuff.
Oh my gosh. How's Bethany? She's how many weeks pregnant is she?
She's, what have we got? 37.
Is she allowed to travel, dude? Like I read
not allowed to go on a plane. And the doctor said, as long as we stop and let her rest and stretch, that's good. We're not having her walk at the park, so I'm going to be renting
a wheelchair.
Some wheelchairs.
Cool.
And,
she'll love that, by the way.
Maybe we can get a cool electronic one.
So what if you guys give birth there,
I know.
Dude?
We'll call it like Mickey.
Yeah.
Mickey Rogers.
Yeah.
Rogers. That could work. Yeah, I don't want that to happen.
No.
But in a way, it would be better because we have our work camp stuff coming up. So, like, I would rather the baby sooner than later. But my kids are excited because they know they're going to Florida, but they have no idea what reason why.
Dude, that's awesome. And it's Katira's birthday tomorrow too.
Birthday,
so it's like almost like a birthday kind of present. Any other celebration? Any other celebrations that you're celebrating down there, or
not really.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like getting back together with family. That's awesome. I mean, as a kid, I went to Disneyland and I loved it. And it's just. My parents, I was blessed that my parents were able to, give us that as a kid. And I remember that. And I want to share that joy and excitement with Avril has never seen anything
with you,
like
bro.
that. Katira, when we went, Katira was younger. She didn't even remember anything. So now, just to going with children, that's going to rejuvenate me.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
I know a lot of people will be like, dude, that's a lot of stress, bringing on. I'm legit excited because I want my kids to be going on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Yep. And they're gonna all this stuff. I'm so excited for them that it's been hard not to talk to them. And you as well, John, you are having a vacation coming up.
Dude, it's like a mini vacation. So kind of background story. Fatima and I have had it tough the past couple of years since we got married. We went to Italy. We had the grand old time. We met the Pope. I high-fived the Pope. No, I did not. I didn't high-five the Pope, but I, kiss his ring. But we had this awesome time, and then real world hit us, right? We got pregnant 2 years in a row. We had jobs, not a lot of leave, so we haven't had really a lot of time to vacation. We actually missed a lot of potential vacations. Like this summer, her whole family is doing a reunion trip to Disney World and Universal.
Oh my gosh.
And we can't go. Because of my wife's leave, but also there's no point in going. We said because our kids are so young.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm right with you. I think either on this podcast, or maybe just a regular conversation. Not every conversation Derek and I have happens on a mic. But I remember one of the things you said to me, Derek, stuck to me like glue to this day. You said like when you go to Disney World or Disneyland as a kid, you know you have the like you're grinning from ear to ear. You're so happy. And Derek, when I went to Disney World, I was kind of like Kateri, and I don't really remember it because I was so young. My dad and his family did a kind of same thing. The whole family did Disney World trip when I was like 5, and I don't even remember, dude. And and I haven't been back since. So I'm excited, and everyone's always like, make sure you save up for that Disney World trip, you know. But one thing you said to me, Derek, was like, when you experience that once, you want your kids to experience it. And it's like a complete different kind of thing, you know. And for me, it's like, for us, I'll talk, you know, for Fatima and I, but for us, it's like our kids are so young right now that if we went, it would kind of be a waste, you know.
Yeah.
And
because you can't enjoy it thoroughly.
Exactly.
And, you know, your son is just walking, right?
Yeah,
so.
he's just walking. Like, so it wouldn't even be like a thing, you know. Dude, that day, I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm excited to be in your shoes one day. Like, I'm so excited. But yeah, so
I mean, it's just to have them like looking around and just be excited, because at this point I'll be so excited to go on any ride, you know. But to have your kids like close to that, and nowadays where you have fantastic video taking capabilities and pictures, like that's gonna help them remember too. And I know my kids are right at the age like 6. Kateri is gonna remember all this stuff. Avila is going to remember. She's going to be turning 4, and so they're going to have each other to talk about this stuff. And my son Blaze is just excited to do anything, and he is just going to be running and pointing and all this stuff. And you know, my poor wife, she's going to enjoy it, but it's not. You know, she can't run around. I mean, she can't ride on Splash Mountain because we don't want her water to break. You know, and give it another reason why it's called Splash Mountain. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I do feel bad for that, but it's going to be neat too, because my, you know, parents are going to be there. So their grandparents are going to be able to help with that. And
really cool.
We have a great picture of my siblings like all together on this one bench with the castle behind us. And I would love us to recreate that picture.
Nice.
Because it would be really fun. But also having that time to just be at a hotel away from home. And this is stuff that we're talking about in this episode. Taking a break from that stuff. A first world problem. Our dishwasher hasn't been working for 3 weeks, and I'm washing dishes by hand, and I appreciate so much. You know, I take it for granted that I have this thing, and you know, we have with the kids, they use up so many cups and plates, it's ridiculous. And my kids are addicted to ketchup. They love ketchup, and it's on the stuff, so I have to constantly, you know, it gets stuck to. So I'm washing it. It's going to be so nice to just put those dishes aside and go to a hotel, you know, and have a pool there. And get away from some of these little stresses to kind of focus on just being with the family and having fun.
Yeah, and I think as men and even as parents, we need that. Like, if we continue, like, so for Fatima and I, it's been like nonstop for these past 2 years. Like, she got a new job in the past 2 years.
That's right.
I got a new job in the past 2 years. We had 2 babies in 2 years. You know,
you've moved a couple.
We've moved a couple times. Like, we haven't had kind of a break. And I don't consider going to Virginia Beach a break because my parents live there, so just like visiting. You know, some people are like, I'm going to Virginia Beach, and I'm like, oh well, that's my home. So for us, it's like, this is great. So like, I talked to you about this too. Like, I've been wanting to bring James to a water park, like a kiddie water park, and because he's at the age where he can just enjoy it now, you know, And then my wife and I were celebrating our 2-year anniversary next week, and her birthday is next week as well.
Wow. Okay.
So I was like, let's just like do something. Like, we're gonna have some fun things next weekend, some festivities. I think she wants to do a couple things, but let's just like all get together with a family and like let's go somewhere. You know, it doesn't have to be far. You know, it doesn't have to be like this crazy, you know, vacation, but let's just like go, because like we haven't been able to go somewhere. And I was talking to my parents, and we were actually supposed to go next weekend, Derek, to Great Wolf Lodge. But the rates are so expensive during a Memorial Day holiday, that I was like, well, let's check for this weekend. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. So today, we were looking at it and we were like, oh, it kind of works, you know? And I asked my wife, I asked Fatima if she said she was down, and like, so we're just gonna go and like get away, and to be in a hotel. Like we rented a hotel there. They have nice rooms there. Have you been to Great Wolf Lodge before?
Oh my gosh, yes. We went for my daughter's fifth birthday.
It's so good.
And it is really fun because it's awesome because they had like those wizard games that you can play. Like,
they do.
And you can see, if I was a kid and I went there, I would have so much fun because they had a leaderboard and you'd hunt gems with your like wand. They have animatronics in the hallway, and then you have that indoor water park.
Oh, the water park is so good.
If you can bring a little bit of alcohol and you just drink a little bit before you go out, I'll tell you what, just hanging out in the water park like that, it's just, you're so relaxed and you're like, the water's here, you're inside, so it's like great temperature. It's so nice to just have that breather because it's so different from your normal stresses, day-to-day stuff that's going on, and you don't realize how much you need that break. And just something as simple as going to Great Wolf Lodge or anything like that, it makes a world of difference. It really does.
Yeah. And so for us, it's like we're so happy like we're going. Like I thought my wife was actually going to say no because we're so busy, dude. Like we're in the process of buying a house, and that's been so stressful for us. And a lot of other things in the background. But she said, yeah, and we're excited. My whole family's coming out. My brothers are coming out, which, dude, God, I love my brothers so much, Derek. Like, this. Like, there's nothing like brothers, right? Like, you guys are best friends and enemies at the same time. And so anytime I get to hang out with my brothers and be like, anytime my brothers and I hang out, we're just like 13, 14-year-olds again, just like goofing around, punching each other, wrestling each other. But, with alcohol involved this time. So I'm excited. We're all there's 3 beds in there. We're all gonna be in there.
Dude, it is. I mean, hanging out with your brothers too when you're older is so much fun.
He's like, "Are you bringing your video games?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna bring my video games." Heck yeah! So yeah, it'll be fun. I'm so excited for tomorrow. I'm already. Yeah, it's gonna be good, and I'm gonna vlog it too. So there you go. Good.
And kind of like along those lines, when you expressed to me that you wanted to look for water parks, I'm like, oh, there's one out here. It's like this pirate water park. They have like this lazy river thing around. I will say this: my wife, she had to go to a work camp to lead her high school group, and I had all the kids. And I made one day where I was like, this is the day we're going to be going to the water park. It's going to be Daddy and the kids, and we're going to go. And I will tell you what, that day just was so much fun because I didn't have Bethany to help, and usually I rely on her like a crutch for like a lot of these things.
Oh yeah.
And it helped make me feel empowered. I empowered myself by saying, I'm going to take the kids out and I'm going to do this. And we're going to have all day, and I'm going to just worry about diapers. I'm going to worry about swimsuits. I'm going to worry about sunscreen. And you challenge yourself. And when you accomplish that on something like that, it's so much fun because you're in the pool, your kids are hanging around your neck, you're swimming, and they're laughing, you're laughing. It's such a refresher. And I highly recommend all the dads out there do exactly what Jon here is talking about. Take your kid to like a water park. And it's a great way to challenge yourself to have the strength to go out there and just do it without mom even, or anything like that. And just have that bonding time with your kid. You take a couple pictures and you personally will remember that day and saying, that's when I was an empowered dad.
Yeah.
That's when I was able to be refreshed with my kid, and I can have a good time with my kids. And I don't know, it helps you grow a lot. It's really, we need these opportunities.
Yes. And I totally agree. Cause like, so right now I'm on paternity leave, and it's just me and the kids. Like, and my wife was like, well, do you want to bring, James to the in-laws for a couple weeks or for a couple days? I don't know if you can handle it. Not that she doesn't think I can handle it, but she knows how stressful I get when I don't have me time, or when I'm like low on energy or I think I'll say that, like when I'm low on energy and my kids are needy and, things are going on, like I'm not the happiest camper, right?
Yeah.
But surprisingly, dude, this is my first week being alone with the kids. I love it, dude. Like, it's not been that hard.
Is this the first time with the 2?
This is my first time with the 2 by myself. Wow. And I survived the whole week. Yay. And and I'll say this to other dads, like kind of like you said, like even if it's not a water park, just being cramped in your house or in your 1-bedroom apartment like we are, you need to get out. And for me, it's like, it's tough because I have both the kids, right? My daughter's not even 2 months yet. She's almost 2 months, by the way, this weekend, which is crazy. But for us, it's like, yeah, let's go out. Like the other day, I took both of them to Chick-fil-A. James, we're going to go out today. We're going to get breakfast at Chick-fil-A because, because daddy doesn't want to cook right now, and it's easier to get
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A. But yeah, no, just going out, like, just again, like you said, it kind of gives you that empowerment of like, yeah, our wives are awesome and they do a lot for us, but when we get to do it ourselves, it's all the more power,
Yeah. But like, I mean, and that's so true, because I feel like when you empower yourself and you strengthen yourself, those situations where things at home sometimes won't seem as stressful, like, well, I was able to do this, and now I feel like a little bit less stressed at home because I was able to be out for a while. I did my thing with my kids. I feel empowered, and like I can operate now. Like, my wife was leading a retreat, and I had the 3 kids by myself. And it was something that I never did before, but I was like, you guys want to go see the Boss Baby movie? And they were all like, yeah. So I took all 3 kids by myself to go see that movie. And I was like, I don't know how this is going to pan out. It worked out.
Good.
There was
How
nothing
old's
for me to
Blaze,
worry
by
about.
the way? No.
What'd you say?
How old's Blaze now?
Blaze is going to be turning 2 in July.
Man, that is awesome.
So it was, to see the movie. And then I was like, you know what? You guys are so good. Let's go get some ice cream too. And we went out to have that. And
Such a dad thing.
When your wife hears that you're doing this stuff without, like, I didn't ask, or tell her what we were doing. My kids would tell, like, mommy, we did. And it was, my wife was impressed that it happened. And I felt good that my wife was impressed. Like, it's always a good thing when you can impress your wife with your, child watching skills.
Yeah. My wife gets super impressed when I clean the dishes. So
yeah.
anytime I get to clean the dishes, there you go. Yeah. So,
and I think the bottom line is, like we've been saying, you got to find ways to kind of get that stress away from you. And a lot of that is through vacationing, through entertainment, like we were talking about, either movies, video games, taking that trip. These things are like really important.
I just have one thing to say, Derek.
Yeah.
And I want to get into it real quickly. It doesn't have to be, we can save this topic for another time. But yeah, like men, as dads, we play a lot of video games. We watch a lot of movies, TV. We need to go on vacations and stuff like that. But I think the one thing that I think men and dads need the most is prayer time that's not with your family.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of good in getting prayer time or reflection time with God on your own. You know what I mean? And it's hard to get that. Like, personally, it's hard to find that time now,
Yeah.
But when I can get it, or, it doesn't even have to be going on retreats. Like, it's impossible for me to go on a retreat by myself for 3 days. Bye, honey. Take care of the kids. I'm going to go get holier. As awesome as that sounds, my wife ain't going to fly with that, right?
Yeah.
And so even just like reading reflections online or reading the Bible or devotional, 5 minutes of, something the Pope said today, I think there's some power in that too, How do you feel about that?
On those lines, I know, like, a lot of dads, like, they'll find times to go to confession by themselves.
Yep.
And that, again, that's along the same lines. Some of the stresses, things that are going on at home, you can kind of relate that as like sin, and you go to confession to just clear out sin, and to, reestablish your relationship with God. Vacation, you kind of reestablish that relationship with your family and with who you are, like, at a relaxed state. I would suggest, if you can, try to find out when your church is having adoration. Go for, 10 minutes, go for an hour if you can, but try to make that effort. Like Jon was saying, having that prayer time. If you can't do the meditation, maybe going away to a church is like that. You need to be away to help pray a little bit. That's a great opportunity to spend some time with JC himself right there in the Blessed Sacrament. If you can go for adoration, I would highly recommend it.
Or even
you can reflect on your day. You can reflect on, you don't have to have a specific prayer in mind, but just go and just be in the presence of Christ. That helps so much.
Definitely. And I would even say, like, maybe your church doesn't have adoration, or adoration's out of the way for you, or it's too impossible to adoration. Maybe even stopping by for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes at your local church that's all on the way home, right? Like, in Jesus, visiting Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, like and I think that's good too. So
yeah, it's about refreshing that soul, either through entertainment, vacations, or through prayer, right? Man. That's what it's about. I want to share with you, Jon, real quick, and the listeners, this vacation prayer that I've seen, cool. And I just want to read it out because I feel like it covers like a lot that we're talking. And any dads that are going to be going on vacation for summer, this is kind of something to think about. Not necessarily to memorize, but just kind of keep this in mind of what this vacation prayer is. So it says, "Dear Lord, how we've waited for this vacation, and now it's finally here. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to take a break from our daily routines and to replenish our minds, bodies, and souls so that we may be better to serve you. Sometimes our expectations for vacations are unrealistic, and we find ourselves disappointed when things don't go our way. Help us not to worry about having the perfect vacation, but to relax and enjoy every moment, whatever it may bring. We are grateful for the joys that await us, whether they be the beauty of your creation, recreation with family or friends, or peace and solitude. Watch over us and protect us as we travel, and bring us safely home again, refreshed and renewed. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, so I think that wraps.
Dude, that was awesome.
I mean, I think that's
that
ideal,
was good.
so.
That was awesome. Great episode. Dude, I'm so excited to hear back from you.
Yeah,
next week.
Same for you too. I'm excited.
Let's recap next week.
Yeah.
On our vacations.
Yeah.
But dude, have fun, man.
And replenishing. We'll see what happens.
Have fun and stay safe and watch your kids.
Yeah.
You know, Disneyland's pretty crazy, but you know, you guys, you have a lot of eyes on you, so that'll help all too.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I hope you have like a, you know, with being at Virginia Beach, hopefully you'll have some eyes to watch the kids too. And it's important for us to get in tune again with like our spouses as well.
Yeah,
to let our wives.
Yeah,
know.
I'm excited. We're gonna we're actually going out. Like we're gonna let my parents watch the kids Saturday night, and I'm gonna take my wife, out. We're gonna go to a nice restaurant and get some drinks and stuff like that. So for her birthday, so that'll be fun too. So.
All right. Well, wherever we are, we'll offer up a drink for our families and our listeners, man.
Yes, definitely. No shout outs this week, unless you want to have shout out. I don't have any shout outs.
No, all good.
Leave us a review. iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play. Visit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Email us at badcatholicdads@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. What topics do you guys want to hear? Tell us about your vacations. And, of course, check us out on patreon.com/badcatholicdads. And with that, I think that's all I have for this week. So,
all right, John. Well, I'll have a good vacation. You have a good vacation. Hopefully our listeners will have a good vacation, too, at some point.
Yep. We'll catch you guys later. God bless.
Bye.